Hi everyone, it's Carolyn here to share another channeled message from the Light Keepers, a group of angelic beings I channel for your awakening journey support. And I apologize for this voice, but I needed to get this video done. But after the new moon, the morning after, I woke up and oh my gosh, I've been sick for 5 days, and then I lost my voice almost fully for 3. So anyway, I'm kind of back. But anyway, so thanks for putting up with me. So anyway, welcome to everybody who's new to my channel, Carolyn Zaiser. I'm a channel, I'm a spiritual awakening mentor, and I'm a distance energy healer. And you can check out all of that on my welcome video, as well as my website, purplerainhealing.com. And I also have a free video down in the description box. You can check it out if you haven't already. It's on flow and how to create flow in your body for health and wellness. It's really important during our awakening journey. So that's a free video. It leads you to a lot more free content as well. So anyway, I'm going to get going on this channel, and today's channel is on soulmates, and I'm going to give you some of the examples in from my journey, and they also talk about really kind of how to identify a soulmate. So anyway, I'm going to read that, and it's a little longer, and then I'm going to give you some of my examples and take on it too. All right, here we go. We find this day that soulmates are coming into your way more than you know, and you may never have seen this happen in the way it is now. For souls that are closer, coming from near and far, particularly in this day, more consciously, reconnecting at a time that is of great significance for humankind, the awakening, for each comes into one another's path for different reasons too. For soulmates are unique, brought about by the heavens in their day, connected always and forever in one way or another, but not always in each lifetime too. But what we do say for you to know is they have a special purpose always, coming in to be a great support, or learn a lesson from you, or teach one to you we see, or support during a time that has been difficult for you. Or all of a sudden, you may feel great connection to another and quickly make friends like you never would before, and then they help launch you to your next open door. Always supporting you and stable, we say. You feel a different connection, one where you trust them without thinking in your way. You know it and you feel it because you are too going through the awakening, and you are more sensitive and understanding of these ways. But different are soulmates from just the other friends and family, we say. Often a difficult bond it can be, sometimes even fraught with anxiousness and anxiety. Difficult times, butting heads it can be, particularly when the soulmate is a family member. But oh, they are here to assist the other through and through. Typically, it is not just one-sided. There is a reason for the other today. And we say, soulmates too are not always in the full lifetime, but come and go as needed, offering room for another soulmate to be, sometimes disappearing, but their heart is always connected to you. But having been here for the time they should. When you look back, you will know it was purposeful, that they stood in your way. And you theirs, for you are a soulmate too of others in time. As you awaken, you can look back and see where this could likely have been. So as one travels their path of this life journey, and as one awakens to the beauty of all there is to see, weaving in and out, there will always be a soulmate who will stop to check in, assisting at a time that you need it, and yet it may not be obvious. But then, when you look back, even years later, you will definitely know it too. But that feeling of connection is so different than most of the others you encounter in your day. Not having to spend so much time in getting to know them, always feeling as though you have been joined at the hip in one way or another. For these souls are often the familiarity of a past life coming back. For as one comes into their incarnations too, they bring the past in, deep in their cells. Soul memories, we say, and that is where the connection comes in, playing different roles in their way, often across time. But the soulmates are the closest ones to you and have traveled with you for eons across time, helping the journey of lifelong learning to be across the eons of lives you have seen, holding your hand, oh yes, across time. Sometimes it's difficult, but you always have love deep inside. And yet also, they can be typically highly supportive, here to make a difference in your life and for you them too. So as you journey along your way, don't go looking for a soulmate today, for that only brings forced energy. For you have already run into at least a few, if not many too. A handful, we say. It is typically how many most humans have of important soulmates in an incarnation. Trusted and caring and kind, we say those are the soulmates from the divine today. So know that, oh yes, in time, soulmates are different than others you'll find. Significant times and lessons too. Great learning and comfort for you, entering into your life in a way that you could never have imagined in your day. So connected you are, but know that soulmates can often come into one's life later or earlier in one's way, and not always be there for eternity in your day. For it is about weaving in and out, making some of the greatest impacts on one's life, we say. So embrace these beautiful souls, for you have been connected as soul family forever and a day, each playing an important role in your way, standing the test of time, and not just in this life, but across the eons of incarnations too. All to join at one time, to build out this ascension, assisting each other in their way. For all have soulmates. Yes, it is true. No one is ever left alone to do this, we say. A light on your path they are, it is true. Sometimes, as we said, part of a difficult journey too. Not everything is always roses with them, but you are deeply connected in your way. But a plan to support each other in each incarnation. But not always will every soulmate show up in a life, we say. And sometimes just a blip on the screen. But you will know in your heart, it is true, who the ones are as you step back and feel it too. And look over a lifetime of connection. Soulmates will always stand out for you today. So that's our channel on soulmates. And I'm going to give you a couple examples from my life. And honestly, before my awakening, which didn't happen that long ago, I didn't even know what a soulmate was. I just kind of thought it was, I really didn't think it was that real. I thought it was something somebody kind of just thought was nice to have, but they're real. They're so real. And I didn't understand that I had been connected to a couple of soulmates in the past few years until now I've looked back after my awakening. But they came at very significant times in my life. And the primary one that came into my life that really that initiated my dark night of the soul was Kent. And many of you know him. He's my very special person who I'd only known 10 months, came into my life, and then diagnosed with brain cancer after we'd known each other a month and a half. But we had had this amazing connection. It was like we'd known each other forever, but I didn't know anything about soulmates at that time at all. And he changed my life because that's when all of my intuitive gifts opened up. That's when I realized something was changing in my life, which was the awakening. And so consequently, during that 10 months, for those of you who know my journey, I supported him through this, and he lived with me during that time. But the whole point of this is he came into my life for a very special reason, to awaken me to move forward in this awakening journey. And remember, as I said, it's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. I was there to care for him the entirety of his battle with brain cancer until his passing. So again, coming into one another's lives during difficult times, it's not always of beauty and grace, but it's for a very, very big purpose. And you will see those along your journey. And you can look back, like I just awakened. Well, my awakening started in 2010, but I didn't know it until 2016 when he passed away. Okay. And now what I can do is look back and go, oh, I know who I have as soulmates. And they're totally right, because it's like, for me, it's a handful of people that are the important soulmates. I also believe there are, I don't know, degrees of soulmates, but other people that come in and they're just kind of there for a little bit, but there's an important purpose for them during that little moment. but it might not be as significant as some of the other people coming into your life. And I think now too, since the awakening, I think we're reconnecting with a lot of soul family, and that's a whole nother conversation, but then specifically soul mates. So we're here to help each other through that journey, through this life journey. And it is typically a two-way street. And it's not always easy and roses and wonderful and loving and all of that. We can have soulmates that challenge us to our core, that cause us great difficulty. And frankly, you could argue that Kent, in my situation, even though it was a beauty, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It was, well, you can imagine, right? But the point is soulmates come in for a very specific reason. So there are three things I wanted to emphasize here. First of all, how do you know you've run into a soulmate? Now, you're not going to necessarily know right away, but you might, if you're awakening, pick up pretty quickly. You have super quick resonance with them. They've come into your life in some kind of magical way, or all of a sudden, and you're like, whoa, I've known this person forever. And you resonate, and you're friends, and it's like you just connect, and you find like interest, and a lot of them now, if you're awakening, will also be awakening too. All right. So very quick resonance. It's like you pick up where you left off from the last life. It's like you know each other in and out, inside and outside, and quickly. They come in, number two, they come in at an important time in your life. You might not understand it at the time that it's important. Now, I have another soulmate that showed up in my life, I would say 4 years before I had my dark night of the soul. I didn't understand why they were in my life until I had my dark night of the soul. And then I realized they were there to get me ready for this. And I won't go into all that detail, but really get me ready for this and to be able to move me forward and support me along the very difficult journey with Kent, my other soulmate. Okay. So here's this foundational soulmate coming in to support me during this really tough time of dark night of the soul. But then my other soulmate offering me this opportunity to awaken in a conscious way through my dark night of the soul. And then that first one soulmate that I mentioned that was kind of the foundational soulmate helping me through this is still in my life. And we're just great friends. And, we're here I think, to support each other through athletics, which is an interesting thing. So just being in someone's life and being a constant lots of times is a signal that, you've got a soulmate. And you may, honestly, very much, the meeting may come in a way that you would never have anticipated. Another thing is, and can be difficult with soulmates, they can come in and out of your lives. They're not always in your life. Like Kent. He came in and left, and it was tragic because 10 months of meeting the most amazing person, and then he's gone in that, in the human form. They don't always come in and stay, and it can be difficult parting too. But what you find out later on after the emotion has subsided is, oh my gosh, they were so important in your life. A big part of it. And you to them, because you were there for them too. I think it's typically always a two-way street. So those are three things that you can look at when you're considering whether someone's a soulmate. And again, like they said, don't go looking for a soulmate. They're just going to show up. You know how this works. In the awakening, it's pretty magical, and people come your way to support you as you need to. And then sometimes you feel like, I don't have anybody. Where's my soulmate? You've probably already had some in your lifetime that you know about. But then don't get concerned about that, because people are going to show up in your awakening who are going to support you. And I got to tell you this, you'll meet a lot of them online, or there's a potential to, because that's happened as well. So again, a handful of soulmates are going to show up. We're the really, really important ones in your lifetime and support you along this journey, as well as along this awakening journey. So they're a special breed of friendship, or even family members. So with the family member part, that can get sketchy, right? Because we're so, close in a different way with family members, typically, emotionally. And those can be super challenging soulmate relationships. And you can butt heads a lot of times too. But the thing is, if you look at family, you can also see how that could actually be as well. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to have a family member that's a soulmate, but when you think about your family, if somebody's standing out to you and you're super close to them, even if it's in a difficult way, you may have a soulmate there. So anyway, I wanted to share this because they were really insistent on doing something about soulmates. And at first I was like, oh God, do I have to do this on soulmates because it's kind of a thing? And they're like, no, we want them to understand how this plays out in your life in the awakening, because they're real, they're important, and they're here to support us, and we to support them during this journey. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and learned a little something about soulmates that will or have entered your life throughout your lifetime, and that we travel with in our incarnations. So with that, I'm going to leave you today and remind you to visit my website, purplerainhealing.com, if you're looking for help along your awakening journey. I offer spiritual awakening mentoring, which I absolutely love, where I work one-on-one with you, and we bring in your spirit guides and angels, and we channel and talk with them. They're in the conversation, and you get a lot of information, as well as me supporting you along your awakening journey into your goals. And of course, I also offer channeling and distance energy healing, and I would absolutely love to work with you. So again, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video.